Pete's in the fucking house. Morning. Hashtag bring back national service. Just saying. They fucking need it. Some of these fucking snowflakes. You know, they're so weak and entitled, you know. I remember this twat. I remember this twat when I was in school. And I'll change his name. I'll change his name for the purposes of this. Let's call him Kim Tudor Fart. That's what I used to fucking call him in school, because he was a cunt. And his fucking parents were cunts as well. Oh, excuse me. That's how much I fucking thought of him. You know, absolute, you know, lefty prick. You know. And I remember my grandfather fought in the World War and killed Japs. You know, why not? It's a laugh, isn't it? You know. And, you know, he was like, oh, you know, they shouldn't have fought in the war because, you know. And it's like, well, if they hadn't fought in the war, you entitled little shit, you'd probably be speaking a different language now, you cunt. Anyway, that's not the purposes of today. Today, I'm going to be talking about more fucking woke bullshit. And I think the reason that a lot of this stuff is a bit like with the COVID pantomime. The reason that a lot of this stuff goes on, and I think what's wrong with society in general, is people are dumb. And by dumb, I mean not the actual meaning of the word, which is they can't speak, but dumb as in, you know, the collective idea of they're fucking stupid. You know, people are so stupid, you know. So I make this disclaimer, and this irritates me a bit, but I suppose if I say it, then it kind of sets the scene. So, personally, I have no problem or issue with really any kind of person or how they live their life, gay, trans, you know, a female wants to do. I believe that people should be within the confines of their own physicality. They should be able to do what they want. Now, if you're a woman and you want to bench press 300 kilograms, then you're not going to. You just have to accept it. There's no point bitching and whining. But if you want to be a bodybuilder, you should be able to do whatever you want within the parameters of your own physical body. Is what I'm saying. Same with the trans. I don't agree with the foisting up on children and confusing them, but I don't have an issue with trans. I don't have an issue with gays. As far as I'm concerned, it's none of my business what they do in their own bedroom or wherever. Fine. The issue, and I think you'll find with most people, is when it kind of spills over and the way their expression of life wants to interfere with how you express your life. And it's like, actually, I'm not interested. I don't really want to know. That's where the problem, I think, lies. So today I'm going to talk about this, several subjects, but the main one is music and the fact that these days it is just absolute crap. Why is music crap? I don't really have one answer, but I suspect a lot of it is to do with the dumbing down of society. It's very interesting. It's like, as the ability for people to access information and knowledge has gone up, the desire and the intelligence has gone down. You can access any information you want now on the internet. But fewer and fewer people are interested in actually increasing their knowledge. They're more interested in Facebook and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of music is dated now, but if you listen to like a lot of the older songs, they were about something. Most of it is just tuneless noise, and I think as well. I think part of it is, you know, the effect that has on people's minds and moods as well. Is like if you're only subjected to a certain amount of frequencies with music, the same kind of then it's bound to kind of affect the way of thinking. So I think things started to kind of go tits up in the 90s. I found that there was less and less music that I liked, like in the charts, but just in general, you had I would say for me, it started really around the late 80s, I suppose. When you got your Kylie Minogues and I don't know why I always think of this, but the Beastie Boys, I always kind of think of them as like a bookmark in time, as when things started to change. Before that, you had some quite interesting experimental music and some really quite interesting stuff, and then all of a sudden it started to shift, and I liked less and less. And it ties in with this idea of like the dumbing down of society. I mean, this idea that you can get a degree now by just maintaining a body temperature of 30 degrees. I mean, you're just going to turn up now. But it's music is, well, it's not really music anymore. It's like repetitive noise. It's lost its. It's lost its value, it's lost its quality, it's lost its class. I mean, this is something you notice. I mean, I use this as a litmus test if I needed one, because usually you can just use your eyes, to identify a moron. You never ever hear these fucking idiots who are around here walking down the street, making grunts like fucking orangutans, listening to Vivaldi. It's always this boom, 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 rap, crap. It's crap. It's the music. It's the music of the moron. It is the music of the moron. All right. It's just I don't think that they've got the brain power to process more complex sounds. You never hear them listening to fucking Bach or fucking Berlioz or anything like that. It's always as tuneless bollocks. And I remember reading something while back about a lot of music is only coming. A lot of the music that's written is only coming from a handful of sources. So there's no real diversity in tunes or music or anything, and even more, a lot of it's generated by computers now. I mean, imagine that. No wonder it sounds bloody awful. I mean, before especially like the 70s and the 80s, they used to try different things. They would experiment with different sounds. I mean, even if it sounded bloody peculiar, it was. Listen to some of like Tangerine Dream, or listen to like some of that stuff. It's weird shit, but it's good. You can listen to it. I mean, some of it's fucking crap, but some of it's really quite good. At least they were trying different things. I mean, but again, it comes back to this notion of accessing things. There is great music out there, and not just the old stuff. A lot, and it's out there, and because a lot of people don't listen to it, they don't even know it exists. But you've kind of got to know where to look, I mean, for my bit of personal information, I've always enjoyed soundtracks. The first tape I ever got, never really. I was kind of at that age where never really had records. But I did when I was a real little kid. But my first tape I ever got was John Williams, doing Star Wars. But you had like the prog rock, such as Pink Floyd, and like what Jeff Wayne did with War of the Worlds, and it was amazing stuff. But these days, I think that there's little incentive to try. I suppose because of the way things are now, the charts, etc., etc. But there is good stuff out there. You've just got to know that it exists. I mean, there's like Aryan's really good, and I never really made the connection before because I've mentioned this before. It's not Aryan as in Aryan. Look at the white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed brigade. It's just, yeah, I never really thought about it before. Never made the connection, although it's obvious. But it's got nothing to do with the superiority of, of the English or anything like that. Although it's a sentiment I share. Moving on. But, I can't stand rap. It's just tuneless crap, Absolute rubbish. And it's the same with films. I mean, the films are dumbed down as well. They don't experiment anymore because there's no incentive to do so. I mean, nowadays they're just propaganda-laden bullshit. And this is why I go back to my disclaimer at the beginning: is I've got no interest. I've got no interest, but I've got no problem with diversity fitting within the story, but when they kind of like, and I think it's because they can't write anymore. But when it's like we write a story and then we're gonna focus on these people kissing or this, nobody wants to. Not really anybody wants to. A lot of people won't say because they don't want to be seen as being this or that. I don't give a shit. I don't really want to be watching a film and then all of a sudden you've got two fucking guys kissing. I don't particularly want to see two fucking straight people kissing if it distracts from the film. And if it's part of the film, okay. But otherwise, I'm not interested in fucking seeing it. Just make a fucking entertaining film. And this is what gets me with this woke thing. It's like, you got that Top Gun film recently, which has got none of this shit in it. Look how well that's fucking performed. I mean, you got tiny Tom Cruise. And, the film still performed well. So I just think they cover their asses with this woke garbage, And it's the same with this climate change crap. I mean, climate change, have you ever heard of a more useless fucking term? Climate change. It's exactly the same as weather change. I do not believe in this climate emergency. Oh, you can't say that. And that's the problem. The fact that you can't say it. Well, why can't you say it? Why is it an article of belief? Why can't you actually look at it? Why are alternative voices silenced? Because as a general rule of thumb, you silence people because you're talking bollocks. And you're talking bollocks. So why don't we get a multitude of different beliefs and different ideas and different theories? Because it's bollocks. Okay? And my attitude is, oh, you can't say that. My attitude is this, and it's very simple. Okay? Even if everybody believed and they were fully paid up members of the Church of fucking Climate Change, unless China does something or America does something, it isn't going to make fuck all difference. We could all go back to live in a fucking agrarian society, riding around on fucking horses. It wouldn't make a blind bit of fucking difference if those countries didn't fucking fall in line. So this crap about climate change, I'm fucking done. I'm not interested. Oh, well, don't you care about the future of the planet? Personally, I can give a fuck. I haven't got any kids. I'll be dead in 30 years' time. The climate's going to get nice and warm. Oh, that's what's the problem with that. Oh, but more people are going to die. Okay, the people who used to die of fucking freezing are going to die of boiling. What's the fucking difference? They're still going to fucking die. Horse shit. Oh, God, I've had enough. And I'm not necessarily a climate change denier. Any more than I think that the sun will be baby shit brown tomorrow. I just do not believe in this hysteria, And these arseholes this is me in a nutshell. These arseholes who fucking tie themselves to cars and stuff like this and tie themselves, they should be run over. They should lose their fucking legs. You tie yourself up to a fucking thing to campaign. Excuse me, can you get out of the way? Can you move? I want to need to go. No, that's fine. Take their fucking legs. That'll fucking teach them. And then they're fucking dragging themselves. Oh, I had my legs cut off because I was... No, you're a fucking cunt. We asked you to move. You didn't move. You pay the penalty. That's the way it should be. No, I should go to Nuremberg. I'd be good at that. Yeah, and I mean you've got you know, and there's always it's a definite you know, everybody agrees on the same thing. They don't fucking agree on the same thing. We've got a declaration here from 1,200 scientists who are basically saying that the fucking climate change thing is a load of bollocks. You know, they've come up with this declaration that, you know, the Earth's climate has varied for as long as the planet has existed, which is what you'd expect. Cold periods, warm periods. And something that's never talked about now, because people have got the attention span of fucking goldfish, is in the fucking 70s, people, they were shitting themselves about the coming of the new mini ice age. You know, and also this, you know, you go back like 100 years, 120 years, something like that, you've got postcards of when the Thames froze over. You know, we're experiencing a period of warming. Fine. Okay, but these climate models, it's bullshit in, bullshit out. The models are dependent on what the information you fucking feed into them, you know. And they've demonised a fucking gas such as CO2. CO2 is not a pollutant. It's essential to life on fucking Earth. You know, if you didn't have CO2, you wouldn't have fucking photosynthesis. It's beneficial for fucking nature. But they've said, oh, CO2 is the fucking enemy. It's not the fucking enemy, you moron. You know, we need it. We don't want too much of it, to be sure. But like I said, unless the bloody Chinese get on board, which they aren't going to, because they don't give a fuck, it doesn't matter what we fucking do. You know, or I'll turn my light off, I'll save the fucking planet. Don't be so fucking stupid. Jesus Christ. And also I'd like to say as well that, you know, the more CO2 is great for agriculture because it increases the yields of fucking crops. It goes back to that business of, you know, well, more people, you know, like I said, the people who used to die of freezing will now die of boiling. They're still going to fucking die. You know, and a lot of these scientists have said that there's no statistical evidence that global warming is intensifying hurricanes, floods, or anything else. Or any other natural fucking disasters. And yet the way the news carries on, you think it was a fucking emergency. Use your fucking brains, will you? That's the problem with these fucking people. They just believe everything they're fucking told. They've got no critical thinking skills whatsoever. You know, and it's fucking net zero bollocks. You know, that's why the fucking prices of fucking bills have gone up. Because of this bullshit. No. You know, I tell you what, you want to do something about the fucking environment, this is what you do. Stop having fucking kids. You see, this is what gets me with this slime Boris Johnson. This cunt of a man who's bitching and whining in service to his Chinese masters, saying, oh, you know, we've got to do something about climate change, net zero. And this fucking cunt carries on like fucking Henry VIII and has got fucking kids coming out his fucking arse. You know, if you want to do something about the climate, Boris, stop breeding, you twat. Anyway, I've had enough now. I'll end with fuck off, Greta. Oh, that little cunt. Is she dead yet? I hope so. All the best.
If you're a lefty and have been affected by any of the issues raised in this program,
fuck off!